Hey, how y'all doing? Hope you're good. Happy 11/11 portal. Even though it's 11/11, it's going to be like a timeless reading. I just wanted to tap in because the last reading was intense, and it's the 11/11 portal, so I can only imagine if you've been going through it, it's likely continuing to some degree. So I wanted to tap in. I wanted to say hello, do a reading sooner than like a week. So yeah, hope y'all have been good. I hope you are enjoying the portal or whatever day you are watching this. Yeah. Hi. We're going to go and just get right into it. I'm not going to waste too much of your time. We are going to take a deep breath, say a prayer, and then hop into the reading. I pray to God, Spirit, my guides, my angels, and my ancestors to help myself, the collective, and anybody watching to see the clearest messages for the highest good of all involved. If you do want to book a personal reading, everything is in the description. Thank you, as always, for watching and liking and commenting and subscribing and donating and all of the things that you guys do. I really do appreciate you. I love you. Dap it up for me before we start. Okay, let's go ahead and just hop into the reading, man. We're going to just be using the Sorcerer's Tarot. We're going to see what comes out. I have no plans for the reading other than to pull cards. I do have all of my decks with me as usual. And yeah, let's see what comes out. Okay. So some of these cards already came out for today's daily message on Instagram at jstarotservice. These two did come out. There are a bunch of other cards that came out, and we did get these two as well. So let's go ahead and talk about this. They're also going to take this ace. I'm just going to keep pulling until we feel like we need to stop. We'll take, nah, we can just, well, I guess we'll take that. Take the world, and we'll leave that there. Okay. Now, we'll take the Knight of Cups as well, and then we'll take the Tower. Okay, we'll take all of those. So, here's what we got. All together, I just pulled a bunch of cards. We have the World, we have the Knight of Swords, Ace of Swords, Ace of Wands, Three of Swords, the Devil, Two of Swords, Knight of Cups, the Tower, back to the World. So this is pretty on point for what we were just talking about on the Instagram daily message. Cycles coming to an end. We are at the 11/11 portal. I know this is a timeless reading, but we are in these energies right now. I guess you could say they are intense. They are what they are. They are pretty deep energies to the point of really letting go of some major cycles. Did we not have the Death card? No, I thought we had that. No, that was in the daily, but we do have the Tower. So see, we're gonna go and talk about these here. We have the Tower and the World. Alright, so we're going to talk about these three. Here's what I'm seeing here. We are in this space of really letting go of some major cycles. I mean, this is what the world talks about. It can be, you know, karmic stuff if you want to look at it that way. The way I see the world, and particularly if you want to look in this deck, it just looks like something that is being, it's kind of tough to say. Almost, if you look in the back, I don't know if these are mountains or like waves or like a tsunami of some sort. I really don't even know. But what I'm seeing here is cycles are closing, moving and closing. You have the cycle of life and death. That's what I see when I see a flower. Flowers, they are always constantly blooming and dying and blooming and dying. Even when it looks like they're done, they do still come back. And I feel like that's the energy that's going on. This seems to be a continuation of what we just went through with the Tower. Right? We had this major Tower moment when we were tapping into the last reading. It was pretty big. It was pretty intense. And it was something where it was surrounding this Three of Swords. If you remember, it was Death and the Three of Swords that came out. Those were the first two cards that came out. This, again, was at the bottom of the deck, I think it was. No. That came out afterwards. But no, we pulled this when we were shuffling. Excuse me. And so, but the fact of the matter is, it's like we're now moving through that space of letting the things go. Last reading, we seemed to be tapping into just realizing the cycles themselves, seeing what needed to be closed out, seeing what wasn't working, and letting things close in the way they needed to close. That was the kind of the main energy that I felt was coming through. But now that we're kind of moving through that energy here, I feel like this is where we're at now. The clarity has come. If you remember, we had Ten of Swords come out a while ago, maybe about 2 readings ago, and this is what comes after is the Ace. And so I feel like you're now gaining clarity about which direction you want to go. I feel like you now know what it is you need to do. I feel like you're kind of moving into this new direction. You're moving into these new directions here. We have the Knight of Swords and the Knight of Cups. This can be changes of perspective, changes of heart, but I mean, these aren't page energies. These are Knight energies. These are the step up in the tarot. So it's an evolution. We had a lot of page energy, and now we have some Knight energy coming through. And so what I feel like is you're really applying this. You're applying everything you've learned, and you're just kind of like in the space of now taking action. That could be moving away from stuff like this, kind of moving away from the things that were holding you back. I feel like there's just some kind of karmic situation or some situation that was keeping you stuck with the Two of Swords and the Devil. Somebody that you may have been connecting with, some situation, relationship, whatever it was that was going on. I feel like it was really keeping you stuck, and I feel like that's kind of why this energy came out. You had that Tower moment. I feel like we're kind of doing this chronologically again. We're kind of looking into some of the past energies. You saw everything that wasn't working, and I feel like it had to do with this connection, or has to do with this connection if you're in this space now. You're now recognizing how do I say this? You're now recognizing why things came to an end the way they had to, or why things worked out the way they did. And that's because you're now gaining clarity on what exactly it is you truly want. Not that you didn't know before, but keep in mind, like when we go through these types of situations, they really show us on a deeper level why we want what we want, and how to get what it is we want to a degree, right? It's like co-creating with the universe, kind of energy with the world. Sorry, my hair keeps getting into my eye, itching my eye as well. But yeah, man, I feel like you're letting go of all that old stuff. You've gained the clarity, you've gained the perspective, you've regained that inner passion within yourself, and it doesn't look like you're holding yourself back anymore. We're gonna pull some more cards. I want to see what comes out regarding this energy. Kind of get a little clarity, advice, or whatever spirit thinks we need. Okay, bottom of the deck we have the Moon. And then we have the Six of Cups and the Eight of Pentacles. So this is pretty much an extension of the daily message too. It's like using the past as a guidebook is what it feels like to me. Really tapping into the depths of your emotions. I think the Moon is, I don't know if it's still in Taurus. We had the eclipse. Damn, when was the eclipse? It was like on the 8th, right? So the Moon's probably out of Taurus by this point. I guess it would be probably moving into Cancer, right? Aries, Gemini, Taurus, Cancer. Pretty sure the Moon is now moving into Cancer, if I am correct, which is the home sign of the Moon. The Moon is ruled by Cancer. It's just this energy, again, of using the past to build your future. It doesn't necessarily, I mean, there could be a reconciliatory energy. There could be this energy of somebody wanting to come back around. You could be, yeah, I mean, that could definitely be the case. I mean, this is kind of what I'm also seeing now, since we do have the Six of Cups and the Eight of Pentacles. Six of Cups could represent like a past life connection. So maybe you're connecting with somebody new who feels familiar because it's like a past life connection, if you're into that kind of thing. But I am also seeing a situation where this could be somebody from the past. I'm now kind of tapping into that same energy. Whoever it is that was coming out in last reading seems to be coming out in this reading too. And this is kind of what I'm seeing. I feel like this person here is now having some major epiphanies, right? So we're kind of now looking at it on the external. We did this last reading. We looked at this in the internal space. And now we're getting the opportunity to look at it from the external space of another person you may be dealing with, or somebody that you may be connected to through like a soul bond or something like that. But you can also, like, if you don't want to be connected to somebody, you can like call your energy back to you, cut the cords, ask God, Spirit, or your ancestors to, just revoke the contract or whatever it is you feel comfortable with. Burning the cords with the purple flame, or the sword of Archangel Michael. Whatever it is you want to apply, if you feel like you just want to remove yourself from a situation completely, those are methods that you can employ. However, I feel like this is the person that was coming through, and they are now in this space of like, damn, they're going through their own major shifts. I feel like the ending between you two really caused this Tower moment for both of you. I don't feel like it was just one of you. I feel like there's a lot of back and forth energy within the mind trying to understand why this happened. 2 to the 3. really being in the space of like, I don't really know what to do, and then the Tower comes in and you're heartbroken, but now you or them or are seeing why this happened. And it also just kind of feels like this person here, it feels like they are obsessing about this. You know, if we are looking at this externally, I feel like this person is in the energy of wanting to come forward, right? Keeping in mind, like the last reading was like a twin flame type of reading. I don't normally tap too much in the twin flame energies or give it too much energy in general, because I do feel like all relationships can be divine to some degree. I have my own discrepancies with the twin flame experience. Everybody has their own opinion. There's so many different views on the twin flame thing. That's why I want you to be able to formulate your own experience and opinions on the twin flame experience without me really just putting too much into it, because it's going to be different for everybody. No one twin flame experience will ever be the same as anybody else's. Regardless, though, aside from the point, this feels like somebody who is just very, very much obsessed about either how to come forward and express how they're feeling. I mean, this is really that right there. I feel like somebody who's just kind of not keeping their distance. I mean, they could be keeping their distance. Page of Swords is more like a watchful type of energy. This to me feels like somebody who wants to come forward. They want to come forward. I feel like they do want to try to have a conversation, at the very least clear the air, so either you can move forward with this person or amicably move away from this person. That's kind of the energy I'm picking up on. Sorry, this really crazy looking Mustang with a cool paint job. Anyways, let's pull some more cards, see if we can get out here. I think I'm going to go and pull with another deck. Oh, they got 2 Mustangs meeting up. I think one's a Challenger. Yeah, they had like the lights on them and everything. It's pretty tight. I don't know if they had the underglow, but they had like all these different lights in the front bumper. It was pretty cool. So yeah, that could be a sign. There could be a sign of like you guys are gonna have some kind of meeting. Perhaps there could be there. The energy is there for that, regardless of whether you're open to it. The energy is there. We're gonna go and pull. Actually, you know what? We'll use a different deck today. No, actually, no. We'll use the Golden Dawn. I like the Golden Dawn deck. It's such an easy deck for me to use. I really like using this deck. I want to go ahead and pull some more energies here and see what comes out. Let's go and see what comes out. Oh, this happened last time, if you remember. Literally exact last reading, the 2 of Pentacles. It can do with cycles, going back and forth, juggling, balance. We're going to get some more cards to see what this is about here, but it seems like pretty much a continuation of last week's reading. Kind of why I wanted to tap in. I felt like this was going to be a part 2. Spirit was kind of guiding me to do like a continuation of the last reading. I mean, that's pretty much what happens every time at this point, but specifically for the 11/11 portal, given how intense the last reading was, I want to make sure you guys can get the support you need in a situation like this, because it's really not easy for anybody at the end of the day. So like I said, it's like when it's multiple people involved, like you and another person or whatever else is going on, it's not always easy to manage on your own. Not that it's not possible, but I just hope that I can provide some support, you know what I mean? Because I understand how difficult these situations can be from first-hand experience. So we got 2 cards that came out. I want to see if I can get like maybe one more. Spirit guides, angels, ancestors, anything else you have for us, advice for the situation, or any clarity about what's going on. Alright, we're going to take this one here. Bottom of the deck, we do have the Queen of Swords. So we have the Empress. We have the Empress, the Wheel of Fortune, 2 of Pentacles, and the Queen of Swords. I feel like this is really you in your space of, I don't know, it doesn't necessarily feel like, it feels like you bringing in new cycles into your life. I feel like you're kind of in this energy regardless. I mean, I'm seeing this 2 ways. When I was shuffling the cards, you know, Spirit was trying to get me to look into the intentions of whoever it is that might be coming forward or you may be dealing with. So we're going to look at this 2 different ways. if this is you in the Empress energy, embodying your divine feminine energy, I feel like you're going to be getting this to me is a different form of justice. When I see the Wheel of Fortune, it can be like the card of chance encounters, but I feel like more than anything, this is the wheel turning in your favor. I do feel like you have been through a lot. I feel like you may have been cutting a lot out. You're cutting things that were really not balanced in your life, right? This is just like the energy of not really putting up with anything that's bringing you out of balance, breaking yourself away from anything that was like reminiscent of old cycles that were keeping you stuck in the same emotional patterns and the same toxic dynamics. Keeping in mind that like most, if not all, relationships have the potential to be toxic. It's not just karmics, it's not just twin flames. Every relationship to some degree has the potential to be toxic. Everybody has their own toxic tendencies because we all have our different forms of trauma that come into play into these types of relationships. All right, if we're looking at this in terms of somebody else that's coming through, this is, I feel like, somebody that wants to come through and really work things out, wants to bring balance to the situation. I do feel like there is the desire to grow something here in this relationship. Whether or not you're open to that is completely up to you, but I'm just here to let you know that like that is a possibility. Those are the energies that are coming through. The energy itself is very dense and very tired type of energy. Could just be me. I mean, I'm a little bit tired today, but even as I'm doing this reading and moving through the energies, it's very dense. It doesn't feel like it's, you remember last reading, it felt like it went really, really quickly. This reading doesn't feel like that. This reading just feels extremely dense. Like it's just kind of trudging through the muddy waters is kind of what it feels like, because I feel like after you did the clearing that you did, after moving away from this person, stepping into your divine feminine power, really cutting things out, it's now put this person in a space that you may have felt like you were in for a long time. And I don't feel like that was intentional. I mean, when you embody this energy, right, the Empress Queen of Swords energy, and really like closing out those old cycles and walking away from unbalanced situations, like that is exactly what is going to put somebody that puts you in that position into that position, if that makes sense. Again, like I said, it doesn't feel like you did this intentionally to hurt anybody else. I don't feel like you were doing this with the intention to put anybody into your shoes. But naturally, like, because of the polarities, if you want to look at it like that, you know, it's two sides of the same coin. You know, if you were in this space and you were going through some, you know, crazy shit, and this person was in this space knowingly kind of putting you in that situation by you switching the roles and not necessarily putting them in that situation, but by removing yourself, the roles naturally reverse in a situation like that. It's just energetics. It seems to be how it goes. We're going to pull some more cards, though, and see what comes out. I'm going to get some advice. We're going to do some advice now. Spirit, do you have any advice as to how to navigate the situation that the collective may be experiencing at this time? Any advice for us? Thank you. Thank you for the messages. Okay, we got a few cards. Bottom of the deck, we do have the Lovers. May need to make a choice coming up soon about whether or not you want to do this or not. Yep. I got the Emperor, man. We got the freaking counterparts out again, bro. Like, we got the Emperor. We have the 10 of Pentacles. We have the 9 of Pentacles. We have the 2 of Wands. That's a straight decision right there. If there's not a decision to be made, bro, like, I don't even know what to tell you. Like, I really don't even know what to say. Like, we got the 2 fucking counterparts. And then we got the fucking Lovers. And this is just a lot, dude. I feel like... Oh, this is the 8 of Pentacles. I'm sorry. 8 of Pentacles coming out twice, man. There's like a need to really focus on building your own, tending to your own garden. But I feel like you're going to have to make a decision, dude. I feel like you're going to have to make a decision, quite honestly. And I think it's about whether or not you want to do this. You know, if this person decides to come back around, the decision is up to you. I feel like the power has been put in your hands, for lack of a better term. But I feel like there is the desire for both people to work on this, but you don't have to stay stuck in a twin flame dynamic if you don't want to. Like, this is a choice. This isn't something that you have to do. Like, it's presented to you as an opportunity to, you know, grow and develop your own sense of self and sense of love and how you want to move forward in that way, but it's not an obligation. If you feel like you are tired of being hurt to a certain degree and you don't want to continue to do that, you can remove yourself. You don't have to do that. I have talked to people who personally have decided to do that. and they're much happier. You know what I mean? I've been in situations where I have decided to remove myself from those types of dynamics, and my life improved vastly. It made me a lot happier, not because I'm happier on my own, but because I'm happier not being in dynamics that put me through things that I feel like are very unfair and hurtful to a certain degree, right? Regardless of my experience or anybody else's experience, I want you to focus on what you are experiencing. This is advice that we are pulling here. So, I mean, the question to you now is, do you remember what it is you want? This is what it really comes down to at the end of the day. Do you know yourself well enough to know when something reflects this Ten of Pentacles? But also keeping in mind that like Ten of Pentacles is a big picture energy. This is something where it's like, do you know, are you willing to put in the work to get yourself to this space? This isn't always just romantic. If we're looking at this career-wise, are you willing to put in the work to get to where you want to be? And I feel like that's kind of the advice right now, is like focusing on your Ten of Pentacles, dude, and like not even really letting yourself be bogged down by any of these types of energies. And by doing so, I feel like that's naturally what's going to bring balance to the situation. But I do feel like there is a connection here for sure, but you're going to have to make a decision. Should this person decide to come back around, I do feel like we tapped into an energy where you removed yourself. If you do decide you want to move back into this energy, you're going to have to make a decision when it does come in. But I think the main advice here is to not focus on that. It's to focus on this. Focus on like bringing that balance to your own life, right? What is it you need to do right now to improve yourself and improve your life and get yourself to a space where this doesn't necessarily phase you? Because from my understanding, in any relationship, regardless of twin flame or not, getting yourself to a space where you are focused on your Ten of Pentacles by, focusing on yourself, going from the 8 to the 10, building your own life, focusing on your own life, that's naturally what brings balance to these types of situations. If you do want to continue to participate in the twin flame dynamic, this doesn't even have to just be twin flames, like for real, like it doesn't even have to just be twin flames. It could be like any type of relationship with somebody who embodies divine feminine and divine masculine aspects. But I feel like another big piece of advice that is coming through here is focusing on balancing that within yourself. Like, to me, the Lovers is the major arcana version of the Two of Cups. What does embodying that look like to you? Are you embodying both divine feminine and masculine aspects within yourself? Are you actually working towards keeping that balance? Because I feel like, in my experience and in my opinion, the twin flame journey is what brings you into this space. Regardless of what it is you go through, it is what helps you balance that. It is what helps you embody both of these energies. And that is really what I'm seeing here. Just given the fact that we pulled this as advice, that's what it feels like to me. It feels like focusing on yourself, focusing on your life, again, not worrying about what is or isn't coming towards you, but just really building your own life, dude. Like doing what it is you need to do for you, and trusting that the universe will be supporting you. As if you remember in the last reading, that was like the final message, was the universe supports you. And whatever decision it is you decide to make, there's no wrong or right decision. There's only a decision in a situation like this. It's really up to you and what you want. And it feels like you already know what you want. I don't feel like that's a question of you knowing what you do or don't want. I feel like this is just you standing in your power. Again, like another piece of advice, like don't be afraid to stand in your power. Don't be afraid to be soft and feminine and loving, and stern and feminine and loving when you need to, but don't be afraid to take action when the time calls for it. Like don't be afraid to keep to yourself when you feel it's necessary, and keeping your plans to yourself as well, regardless of whether this is like, relationships, this can be career as well, like keeping your biggest dreams and plans to yourself until they were fully grounded in reality enough to where nobody can like influence them and get them off track. One really good piece of advice that my mom gave me a long time ago that I actually still do employ into my life to this day, where she told me to never tell people your biggest dreams or plans. Exactly what I just told you, that's where it came from. Because I looked into that deeper, and through my experiences in life, from my understanding, it's people can really influence your decisions through their own opinions, their own thoughts. If you want to get into like metaphysics and quantum mechanics and stuff like that, you can just look at like quantum entanglement and how another person's energy can naturally influence your energy if you're connected to people on a soul level. And by people understanding your plans and your dreams, in detail before you fully manifested them, that can become influenced to a certain degree. And so it's really needing to just like trust in yourself, trust in your process. I say this so much, but like really focusing on building your life to the way you feel like you need to build it, and not putting too much emphasis on the twin flame dynamic or any relationship dynamic, because you're just kind of needing to really build yourself right now. I mean, I feel like I repeated it a bunch of times, but because it's necessary. Like, if bottom of the deck though is a Six of Wands, it just feels like the balance energy. Balance, balance, balance. This could be past energy coming back through again. We had the Six of Cups, but it's really focusing on yourself. What does a personal victory look like for you in a relationship, in a career space, any kind of space, any situation? Take the time to really like reflect on what a personal victory would look like for you. And continuing off of the advice of the last reading, don't be afraid to communicate that. If this isn't a relationship space where somebody comes back around, like, don't be afraid of communicating what it is you need and what it is you want, and understanding that like if they can't provide what it is you need, that is totally okay. Something my therapist taught me is like, when you're maneuvering in relationships, a really, really good thing to do is reflect on how you feel, reflect on how this relates to your past relationships, how that applies to where you are now, and in terms of boundaries, shifting them based on your expectations and the actual state of the relationship. So it's needing to really get grounded with reality and like understanding, where are you at right now? Where is this relationship at realistically right now? Not idealistically, but where is it at now? How do you shift your boundaries in a way that's going to make you comfortable, but understanding that like if this person decides to come back around and you do want to work things out, the boundaries will shift as you continue to build a relationship. And this can apply to really anything, completely honest with you. We're going to go ahead and close the reading out though with the animal messages. So to me, this reading just feels like, a preparatory energy. Understanding that like, yes, there may be things coming forward. You may be going through some stuff with a partner, if you're in a relationship, or with somebody coming back from the past. It's just I feel like it's a nice confirmation from the universe to let us know that we are taking care of what we need to take care of. And it's just like, I feel like the universe is kind of just saying, hey, like, I see that you've been focusing on yourself. Continue to do that, and the things that you're looking for won't be something you're worrying about in the future. All right, closing messages here with the animal messages deck. Okay, I got a bunch of cards. Can I set the cards? All right, we have quite a few cards. We're just going to go through them one by one. We have the crab. It says, show your emotions and regenerate love. This is a really odd picture of a crab. I don't think I've ever seen a crab that looks like this, but it's pretty cool. Looks like he has, yeah, it's kind of creepy, but it's cool. We have wild horse. It says, speak your passion aloud and defend those whom you love in word and deed. Fox, your sharpened senses allow you to observe the actions of others. Mountain goat. Fighting for love or ardent declarations may hide unfaithfulness. We have the bat. It says you have the power to transcend failure and move into a limitless future. You have the wolf, which is listen to your inner wisdom and enjoy the gift of freedom. Back to the crab. I feel like this is more so just final advice regarding whatever it is that you may be dealing with, or whatever it is that may be coming forward. I just feel like, should you decide to work things out with this person, if this person comes back and they want to try to work things out with you, don't be afraid to express yourself, right? Now, don't be afraid to speak your mind and really tell this person how you feel. Both good and bad emotions, keeping in mind those are subjective, right? Don't be afraid to really tell them how you feel. If something happened between you and you're not happy about how things went, be honest about that. I think in all relationships, people really respect that type of honesty. That's what breeds intimacy. That's what helps intimacy flourish and grow. Intimacy is not only just physical. I mean, you have physical intimacy, emotional intimacy, spiritual intimacy, so many different kinds, like mental intimacy, like, you know what I mean? Like, it continues and continues on. Intimacy can be formed by so many different types of experiences, but really being honest with your emotions and how somebody makes you feel is what can really help regenerate a relationship, because sometimes people just don't know. Like, not everybody can read minds or emotions. Maybe not everybody is as emotionally intelligent as you are. So sometimes it really helps to tell somebody how you feel if you get that opportunity, and let them show up for you, right? Like, give them the opportunity to either make up for what happened or change their behavior or whatever it is that you need to do, whatever feels right for you, right? Now we're going to move on to Wild Horse, and it says, speak your passion aloud and defend those whom you love in word and deed. I feel like this has to do with standing up for yourself. It does say defend those whom you love in word and deed, but do you not love yourself? If so, I feel like that's the advice here. It's really choosing to love yourself enough to speak your passions aloud, and I just feel like that is a continuation of the crab energy. Like, don't be afraid to defend yourself. Don't be afraid to stand up for yourself, but understand that, like, there needs to be compassion and empathy within that. And I don't know, I mean, this is just my opinion, but like, when you're defending yourself, try not to be so derogatory towards the other person. Speak in terms of, like, if I terms, like, I feel this way because of this. You know what I mean? That kind of energy. Next card, we're going to go to the Fox. It says, your sharpened senses allow you to observe the actions of others. I have a suspicion that this has a lot to do with you just needing to trust your intuition. The reason I say so is because the next card says, fighting for love or ardent declarations may hide unfaithfulness. I feel like this is just a reminder that if you were in the third party situation we talked about in the last reading, or you've been dealing with that, there's a need to trust your intuition here. If this person decides to come back and they start love bombing you and they're telling you this, that, and the third, telling you all the right things and telling you what you want to hear, use your intuition. I'm not saying that this person is not somebody to be trusted, but the fact of the matter is, it's like, if you've already been through something like this with this person and they want to come around and act like nothing happened and like they weren't just putting you through some shady stuff, then, just use your intuition there, and, don't be afraid to stand up for yourself if you really need to, right? Observe their actions. Do their actions match what they're saying? All those really good, nice things, do they match what it is they really, truly say? Are they acting in a way that makes them actually look the way you want them to look? I don't know. That's not really what I meant to say. It came out weird. Does this look in the way that you want to experience? If they're saying certain things about how they feel, are they actually showing up in that way? Right? Final two cards before we're out of time. It says, listen to your inner wisdom and enjoy the gift of freedom. You have the power to transcend failure and move into a limitless future. So and like I said, I feel like you have the decision to either free yourself, move forward with this person, however that looks like. The power is in your hands. If they decide to come back around and try to work things out, that is completely up to you. But that is all I have for you, because we are almost out of time. I love you. I appreciate you for watching. If you want to book a personal reading, everything is in the description. I will see you in the next reading. Happy 11/11 portal. Enjoy your day. Best of luck to you on this journey, whatever it is you're experiencing, and I'll see you in the next reading. Goodbye.